Hey everyone, my name is Dark and Slash, and welcome to the very first episode of Dragon Ball Z Versus, where I will be taking two characters from Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and I will make an accurate theory to give you some idea what would happen if these two characters Now today, as a special starter to the series, I'm going to be answering a very old question that's been running for, God, it must be over a decade. What if Goku had fought his anime rival, not Vegeta, Naruto? Well, I'm really sorry to actually say this, but this whole video is pretty much just going to be why Goku's better, and I think you Dragon Ball Z theorists, or just Dragon Ball Z fans in total, probably already saw this coming. Now, this is why I think Goku could easily beat Naruto. Now, first off, Naruto is human, and as far as I'm aware, well, as far as I'm aware he is, and Goku is obviously a Saiyan. Now, as far as Dragon Ball Z goes, humans are incredibly overrated and by far the weakest of all races, except for like a very, very few amount of races, of course. The strongest human in the whole of Dragon Ball Z ever, by about the time of the Buu Saga / Battle of the Gods, was Tien Shinhan, of course. Now, as we see, Tien Shinhan was easily destroyed by Buu. But of course you can still see him as he deflects his ki and then tries to fire a tri-beam at him. Also, as you see, after he does make his failure, and of course gets attacked by Buu, he does not die the whole time, in spite of the fact that, he only really lasted just a small amount of time. But that's, that's not the point. Now the only problem is, Naruto's actually weaker than Tien. Now, before you spam me with your hating comments, you Naruto fanboys and fangirls, I have my evidence with me, thank God. Now, Naruto is most of the time training with humans, whereas Tien trains with his vampire puppet companion, Chaozu. He also trains with the Z fighters that Kami's look out on King Kai's planet after he dies in the Saiyan Saga. Now, this is where you see the difference between Tien and Naruto. Tien goes to planet Vegeta and King Kai's planet, both of which have 10 times gravity, and he also has to fight the two other Saiyans on planet Vegeta, and he has to fight the Ginyu Force on King Kai's planet, so he just has to actually properly train. Now, the average human, as you may know, has a power level from 0 to 5, and can only withstand 4 times Earth's gravity before they die, and that's like for a few seconds. Now this means Naruto, who is of course above average, would be somewhere between Mr. Satan, with a power level of 25 in the Cell games, and Tien Shinhan before he trains at Kami's. Now Tien before he trains at Kami's was somewhere between 100 and 1000. But of course I would guess, because Goku, definitely was, Tien was a worthy adversary, I'd say at the very least. He would have a base power level of 200, and his multi-form technique would bring him to about 700 of his maximum power. His tri-beam may also bring him higher, but that is of course debatable, as most things that I say, but still, it's just a theory. The hilarious part is, though, actually, Master Roshi is also incredibly strong, as he can survive a blade to the back of the head, as it's shown in Dragon Ball when Kid Chi-Chi tested his reflexes when she doesn't believe that Goku actually says that he's like the almighty master. And of course, Master Roshi also has a power level that's somewhere between 100 and 200, I believe it's about 130. So I would just because Naruto's younger, put Naruto at about 150 in his base form. Now, I've never watched Naruto, of course, so I did realise that might be a bit lopsided, so I did do some research before I actually did this about his actual strength. But one thing that I do not know is that if Naruto can transform, but from what I've seen from a few theories and stuff like that, I do believe he can transform, so we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, say that he can have a Super Saiyan 3 multiplier of 150 times. Now, of course, that would still only make his power level 22,500, which is kind of really bad for Naruto, because this means that Goku in the Saiyan Saga, yes, the Saiyan Saga, the very first saga in Dragon Ball Z, or the Vegeta Saga, as some people know it, has a power level of 500 when he's suppressed and heading towards the battle, 8,001 in the manga, and 9,001 in the Funimation dub, when he's actually at his max base power, 12,000 in the Kaioken, 15,000 in the Kaioken times 2, and then when he pushes himself, because he knows that he can't beat Vegeta at the time his power level of somewhere between 18 and 20,000, he goes to his Kaioken times 3, which he can hold for about 5 minutes, as we see, because he can't hold it for very long because it takes away too much power and basically burns up his body. His power level though goes to 24,000, which means that Saiyan Saga Goku could have easily beaten Naruto, and of course that's even if Naruto had the ability to insanely power himself up. But let's say Naruto used one of his strongest spiritual techniques, I don't know, like, what can he use, like his magma crap, I don't know. But anyway, let's say that he uses this technique. He uses some mighty spiritual technique on Goku. Goku still has his famous Kaioken times 4, which he uses against Vegeta, and in Kaioken times 4 Kamehameha, he clocks somewhere between like 34,000 and 36,000. So in other words, Naruto wouldn't have even been an issue for like Super Saiyan Saga Goku. He would be basically just like a stronger version of Vegeta. Except he wouldn't even be that good as Vegeta, and that's saying that he has the insane strength. We don't even know if he has that much strength. Now, of course, as for Battle of Gods, power levels really stopped being mentioned since like the Frieza saga, as soon as the Scouters broke, because no one really had a main idea. They just said like his power level's insanely strong, or like I can tell that he's only using a fraction of his power level right now. But a great YouTuber that you might know called Vegito 1089 makes great videos on power levels that are pretty accurate, or they're accurate, so we're just going to use them for the sake of video. So he says, and this is by far the funniest thing I've ever heard in Dragon Ball Z, Mega Super Saiyan Goku with the God Essence. This is basically, you know, when he gets mad and says, I'm not going to let you destroy my planet, and then has a giant outburst where he goes back to Super Saiyan, but he still has God Essence within him, has a power level of an outstanding 1.477 quintillion. Or in other words, base form Goku from Battle of Gods would do nothing but raise his energy, like Cell did in the Cell games, and Naruto would die. Oh, I'm sorry, what's that? You want more proof? You're not convinced? Well, as it is seen, at the end of Battle of Gods, Beerus, the Destroyer, can blow up a whole galaxy in a matter of seconds just by taking some wasabi. And Whis says this, quote, "It must have been great for you to go to 70%. This means that Beerus the Destroyer had to use nearly 3/4 of his maximum power against Mega Super Saiyan Goku when he had his God Essence. And Goku, by the end of the battle, could still levitate in midair outside the ever so slightly outside the atmosphere, and could still talk to Beerus for a few minutes before he had to eventually fall down. But he was still conscious, because you could see how he'd fall down a lot more slowly, otherwise he would have probably burnt up. Of course, and as well, in one of Naruto's movies, he's worried about a moon. One moon. Now, to put this into perspective, Piccolo in the Saiyan Saga, just before they arrive on Earth, the Saiyans arrive on Earth, Piccolo has to blow up the moon to make sure that like Gohan can deal with it. This is the Saiyan Saga we're talking about. You know, the saga where power levels actually like made sense, or were actually down to Earth level, where Earthlings stood a chance, but they still didn't really stand a chance, to be honest. But still. Anyway, Cell, one of the weaker villains in Dragon Ball Z, and we're talking all the movies here, Cell, one of the weaker villains, can blow up a whole solar system with his ultimate attack, Solar Kamehameha. This means, no matter how many times you look at it, Goku from the Saiyan Saga could have easily stomped on Naruto, even with the modifiers, even with anything. In fact, he still, like I said before, would only be a stronger, more improved version of Scout of Vegeta. He wouldn't even be stronger than Dodoria. That's how weak he would be. Now, of course, this has been my theory on why Goku was stronger than Naruto. I hope you like this series. You know, it's really fun to make these videos, and you know, it allows me to have a look a bit more in depth about certain characters, and maybe uncover stuff that I didn't know before, and it helps you guys out, of course, because that means that you get to learn a bit more about the characters, and of course, you know, it might interest you, and you know, it's just really fun to make these videos. Now, of course, thank you guys for so much of your support. I'm so happy that already we've got like we got over 300 views on that first video. I just can't believe that we've actually came this far in just like less than a week. But anyway, thank you so much for that, and of course you can show even more support to me by hitting them like and subscribe buttons so I can know when you want more of these videos, and as always, I shall see you people in the next episode. Goodbye.